Hey friends, it is Stephanie and it is fall floral time at Festive Creations. So come on in and say hey. If this is your first time here, I am Stephanie Williams of Festive Creations by Stephanie, where we inspire and mentor others as well as design beautiful things for your home. We offer the supplies to make those beautiful things, and I coach people on how to grow their online business. Y'all, it's a busy life. It's a busy life, that's for sure. So I brought out, I was thinking about doing an arrangement last night, and I brought out a couple of containers, and I pick up containers here, there, and everywhere when I'm out and about. So these, for example, I got last year at the end of the season, and I snagged a couple of these, and I love these metal containers. This one says, pick your own sunflowers, farm fresh. And it's got sunflowers on the front. I found this one. This one would have been on clearance as well. It's Ashland. Is Ashland Michael's or Joann's? I think it's Michael's, isn't it? Anyway, so I picked this one up as well. So every time I'm out and about, I'm definitely shopping for the following year, and that's where these came from. So what I did with this one is I have pre-filled it with my favorite thing ever, and that is spray foam insulation. So when I have containers, I will get 1 can of spray foam insulation, and I will prep my containers ahead of time, which is what I did with this. And listen, can you hear that? It's rock hard. So if you use the spray foam insulation, let it set up for at least 24 hours. If it's super thick, you might want to allow some more time. And it sticks to the side of your container, so it's not going to slide out versus trying to glue foam, your floral foam in there. So it adheres to the side of the container, and it's so easy to use to make flower arrangements with. So I'm super excited. So I brought out, I went shopping out in the wear garage, and I brought out some fall items that I may or may not be using in this arrangement. And believe it or not, this is a definite is going in my arrangement. A lot of times we think about pine as being like a Christmas or a winter. However, think about it. Pine grows all year round. It never loses its leaves. In this case, needles. I guess it does, but you don't see a bare pine tree. So pine is one of those things that is year-round, and it looks amazing in fall as well. I brought out a couple of different colors of sunflowers to use in this. I brought out some oak leaves that have some acorns. I dug in my fall tote, and I found this cute little grapevine pumpkin that I had gotten from Hobby Lobby in the past. And I also found these velvet pumpkins from Joann's that I liked. So I've got a lot of options here, but I have a vision in my head where I want to go with this. And this is actually going to be my main starting point. So let me get him going here. I do have my glue pot on over here off to the side. Let me get this off the table so I don't spread the love on that. I also brought out some 5/8 inch ribbon. I tried to be prepared, y'all. I tried, because I don't know which direction this is going to go. Okay, so I am going to take my wire cutters or my side cutters, and I'm going to dissect this guy. And I also have my pick machine out. If you do not have a steel pick machine, which is what we use a lot in the floral world, you can use those green floral picks that have the wires on the end of them. Let me see if I want that. I might want that just a little bit taller. I put my stem cutter up though, like a fool. All right, so I'm just going to leave this little Y in the center. And I'm going to start by adding some glue. And we are going to start right dab in the center of this. Add some glue to my greenery, and we're just going to go right in the center with this. Ta-da! That's it. Now, obviously, this is the front of the container. And let me try and zoom out just a little so you can see the big angle. These might need a little height to them. So that's where I like to use the pick machine, is if I need some extra height, or if the foam or the surface that I'm adding it to is kind of stiff. These will go directly through just about any surface because they're razor sharp on the edge, on the ends, let me tell you. All right, so I've added the greenery, and you see how I've kept that spacing in there. So now we're going to start adding to that. So this is like my focal point. This is my high point. Look at this fun fall greenery. This is all plastic, so this works really well for outdoor as well. The plastic ones do. I used to not love plastic until I started doing more and more arrangements outside, and then I really appreciated plastic. Yeah, they work really well outside. Just saying. Get rid of that. You know what I didn't get? Daggone it. I knew I'd forget something. Alright, so these guys are tall as well. I'm going to be using some of them. And I'm going to cut about 5 of them. We're going to use about 5 of those. And now I'm going to go kind of in between where I put the pine, or pine whatever. Look, I know the official names, right? The pine whatever. You don't get judged on the names, though. If anybody knows what the name of them are, that's fine. So I'm kind of going in between that wispy pine. And you'll notice that I'm kind of slanting it so that it's going away from my container. I'm not going straight up and down. I'm going away from the container. Love my glue. It's not quite melted yet, so it's super, super stringy right now. And let's do one more up front here. All right, that's what it looks like so far. All right, we're going to be using some of these orange sunflowers. So let me get some of these guys trimmed off. 2, 3. And they are in different heights and lengths. So let me get a few of these going. And I am going to leave the leaves on there because that helps camouflage the foam down at the bottom. So you'll notice I didn't put any Spanish moss or peat moss over the foam because you will not be able to see that when we get done with this design, with this arrangement. Look at that pop of color already in there. Look, we've only added 2 sunflowers, and look at that amazing pop of color. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a taller sunflower and I'm going to make like a little cluster right here. A cluster of 3. So I have, this is a shorter one. This one is going to be a smidge taller. And I need another one about that height. All right, so see how I did this little cluster right there? And I am going to do another cluster on the opposite side. So I'm going to take one of my taller, let me see, take this one, do a taller one, and of course it's all wired, and then a short one. So this one will be a little bit shorter. Okay, Stephanie's getting a little strong-handed here. I'm trying to, there we go. I was trying to stick it in some glue, and once that glue hardens, you're not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. And one more. There we go. Awesome. So a little cluster of 3, right? Oops, hang on. There we go. Okay. All right, so now we have this whole thing going on, but guess what? We're going to add some yellow in there as well. So we're going to add some, integrate some yellow sunflowers. And again, I'm going to take a shorter one. We're going to go taller. Look at the color coming out in there. Amazing. And now I'm going to bring one of these shorter. Remember, this is our front. We're going to bring some of that yellow up front. And of course, this one has handles on it. So I don't want to necessarily take away from the handles, but I also don't want them protruding. So I've got my handles here. This is what it's starting to look like from the front and sides. But we are, so I started out with the cluster of 3 here and here, and I'm kind of working around throughout. So now we're going to bring some more of that yellow in the center. So how we did this one here. And I'm keeping everything below the tallest point. I will literally get down on the table and I will look at it like this, because I want to be able to see what it's looking like when, take the tag off, Stephanie, when it's sitting on someone's table for their centerpiece. So I want to know, what does it look like from this view? I want to know what it looks like when someone's standing over it, when they're looking at it from the side. I am really OCD about that when it comes to the different views. And depending on your container is going to make the difference on whether or not you angle your florals as you're putting them in there, or if you're going straight up and down. It's always going to depend on the container itself. That is coming out amazing. Amazing. Okay, so let me show you from this angle. Does that make a difference? Well, let me turn it around. Right here looks a little bare on the camera. That's where the handle is at. And now we're at the back of the container. So I need to know if it's going to look good, if you're sitting in front of it, side of it, behind it, etc. I'm going to keep those close by. beautiful fall colors in these tea leaves. So we're going to bring out a little more fall with it. So basically, I'm leaving this towards the end because this is going to be like a filler. So what I'll do is I'll look at it from this angle and I'll go, oh, it looks a little bare right in there, or it needs a little something right in there. So I'm going to take a coordinating fall bush, and I'm going to use it for mechanics to fill in. So that little spot that I said looks a little bare right there, guess what? It's not going to look bare anymore. So now it has some filler in there. Right in here needs some love right in there. And I've got 2 more left. So now I'm going, and I feel like I've got most of the bare spots taken in. So what I like to do now with what's left is try to even that out a little bit. So I've got some of that filler here, here, and here. So let's bring a little out back. So we're going to bring some out the back side. Trying not to glue inside of glue, which is exactly what I'm trying to do. And we'll bring some up front to make it a little more cohesive. Oh my holiness. Okay, that is too stinking cute. Too stinking cute. How fun is that? Let's zoom out for a moment and let's take a look at this from a bird's eye view, right? So if it were sitting on your table, does it look good from the front, from the side, and from the back? The back, I'm actually good with that. Super cute. But I did want to try and integrate. I thought this little pumpkin, I thought this one would go really well in this design. And so, just as I thought, he's too short. So he's too short to go in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to improvise. Because that's what we do, right? And I'm going to take a wooden skewer. And I do need to go, because I think I put it up the other day, and get some floral tape. And we're going to make him taller. We're going to make him taller. So I'm just going to take my wooden skewer. He feels a little loose right there, so hang on a second. Let me give him a little love with some glue. Because I don't want him wobbling around. This little guy came from Hobby Lobby. All right, so I'm just going to take my wooden skewer and attach it with some floral tape here. All right, so now I've made him taller, and now, of course, I don't need him quite that tall. So let me trim a little of him off. And actually, I think that's going to be just about the right amount. Make a little hole, fire in the hole. Perfect. I think I want one more of these tall with the brown, these mini leaves bush. I think I want one more in here. Right in the center of my pawning, or right next to it here. I love it. Okay, so let's zoom in. Let's zoom in and let's get a little distraction out of the way and cause an avalanche at the same time. Okay. There's the front. There's the side with that just little woodsy looking pumpkin. There's the back. There's the other side. And again, there's our front. You guys have a great night, and thanks for coming to hang out with me.